Hello again. Welcome to my studio. We're going to try this. It's a little warmer today. I'm still trying to work out the kinks in getting the mat so you can see everything. So bear with me. I am new to this, but I'm excited to have you in my studio and sharing class with me again. So let's get started. I think this is a little better. Yep, I can already see a better view. So we're going to start out just in a little quiet meditation. And again, last week I wanted us to connect a little more on an energetic level with Namaste, I vow to you. And this just allows us to surrender to the divine in each of our hearts. It allows us to have some kind of connection, even though we're not physically connected, which I absolutely love, so that we can connect on an energetic level wherever we are. So let's bring our hands to heart center and we'll close our eyes. And just feel that sensation of bowing to each other. And let's close our eyes. And we'll start our class again with Namaste. And let's go ahead and come into our breath, our Ujjayi breath. So closing our eyes, feeling your sits bones on your mat, feeling your breath moving up and down. I want you to sense the diaphragm moving up as you exhale. So just notice when we inhale, the diaphragm pushes down a little bit on the pelvic floor. When we exhale, it rises up and you feel an intrinsic natural contraction. So let's go with that. Inhale and exhale. Feel that natural contraction and lift, that upwards lift. Inhale, downward, exhale, upward seal, upward lift, our Ujjayi breath. Find that quiet breath where you can hear your breathing, where you can feel this. I like to think of just a gentle ocean wave and the rhythm of the ocean wave when we're breathing, and that same frequency. Okay. Once you start to really feel good with your Ujjayi breath, when you exhale and you feel that pulling up of the pelvic floor, try pulling in a little more so we get this upwards lift and seal sensation. And exhale, kind of a downward, inhale, downward, exhale. The upward lift on our exhale. Do that a few more times, really feeling a little bit of our Uddiyana Bandha, that pulling inward of the pelvic floor. Let's breathe 3 more breaths. Two more. And last one. And then let's open our eyes. From here, let's all make our way onto our backs. So lie on your back. And we'll just start out with our knees bent. What I want us to feel on our back is the weight of our thigh bones just sinking into the hips, the weight of the feet on the floor, the connection of our back on the earth. So you feel totally supported. This would be a grounding pose, right? We're connected and supported. So just feel that for a moment. 2 more breaths. Relaxing, feeling the heavy bones. And now let's stretch our arms back behind us and reach our feet forward with our toes up, lengthening our spine. And if you come to my classes, you know I like to start out with core. So big inhale and exhale through the mouth. And let's bend our knees. Okay. Keeping our knees bent, palms on the ground, we're just going to do a couple of toe taps. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Listen to your breath. Let your breath kind of be what paces you in your postures. So there's no movement without breath and no breath without movement. Starting to feel a little warmth in your belly, I hope. Let's do a few more. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Bring your knees to chest. Maybe open your knees out. Maybe rock side to side. Just loosely loosening up the hips. So I like to see a little movement in our hips, getting the hip joint kind of lubricated and ready for deeper poses. Let's take our legs straight up. Okay, a little bit different exercise for our core. I mean, if you've been to my class at Harbor Score, you know this posture, I'm sure. So take your legs straight up. Make sure you have a good solid connection to the mat in your back. And let's open our legs into a straddle. Okay, just a relaxed straddle. I'm a little close to the wall here. Okay, so we're not forcing out, but we want to let gravity open our legs. Let's take our hands behind our head. This is our starting position. We're going to exhale as we bring our legs together and crunch up. And inhale, open. Exhale, inhale. Bringing the tension below the navel. Nice and slow, full awareness of your body and your breath. Let every breath kind of ground you into your body, right? So we're not thinking, we're experiencing and feeling. And possibly just being. Let's do 3 more. Let's do 2 more. Let's finish strong. 1 more. Slowly. Hold hold here at the top. And release. Bring your feet back to the mat. Okay, feel again that same weight. Your thigh bones are heavy, sinking into the hip bone. Maybe walk your feet a little wider and windshield wiper back and forth. Back and forth. Okay. Plant your feet firmly. If you have a block, you can use a block. If you don't have a block, it doesn't matter. We don't necessarily need one. If you have a block, place the block the long way between your thighs. So from your thigh up towards your knees, but not at your knees. And your feet are solid. The entire foot flat on the floor. And start out with a pelvic tilt. So rock the low back, tilt the hips up, the tailbone up, rock the tailbone down and the hip bones up. Let's do this 2 or 3 times. Curl the tailbone, bring the hips back forward. Curl the tailbone and lift the hips forward. One more time. We want our pelvis to be able to move. Okay. Now find kind of a neutral so our back isn't squished to the mat, but pretty level and our core is engaged. Let's lift our hips up for a bridge. So it's not going to be the highest bridge you've ever done. And then lower slowly back down. Just tap and inhale, lift. And tap, control the squeeze and lift. Make sure your feet are planted and tap and lift and tap and lift. I'm going to change it in a moment. So 3 more. Squeeze the block or squeeze your thighs if you don't have a block. Last one. Okay. When you lower, lift your heels off the floor and you're on your toes. Lift up, and now you notice you have a little more freedom to go a little higher. Keeping the block and keeping the side of your legs long is preventing you from squeezing the glutes too much so you don't aggravate your sacroiliac joint. That's really important. That gets we tighten too much. Let me just say that. It gets overused. Lower back down, tap, stay on your toes. Inhale, lift. And lower, tap and lift, and lower, and lift. You're probably starting to feel your thighs, and lower, lift. We'll do 3 more, 2 more. With your breath, last one, and lift, hold. Now, if you want, walk your shoulder blades towards one another. Keep your gaze up to the ceiling. Palms open to the ceiling and hold and squeeze your block and lift for 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down, bring your arms overhead. I'm just going to drop my block. Bring the bottoms of my feet together. Let my knees fall open. And just feel this. You can keep your arms overhead if that feels good. And just enjoy the counterpart of that work. And we'll bend our knees, bring our feet on the floor, and just go ahead and rock up to seated. Hopefully you feel a little warmed up and ready for more. So go ahead and come onto all fours. On all fours, We're going to come into cat-cow just a couple times, finding that same ujjayi breath and that same uddiyana bandha, that upward seal on our exhale. So inhale, feel the pelvic floor kind of move down, and exhale, feel that intrinsic contraction and go with it. Kind of take advantage of that natural and go deeper. And inhale, and exhale. Once more. And come to neutral. Okay, let's come into a little spinal balance. Taking your left foot straight back, your toes down. Let's work on the inner thigh seam towards the ceiling. So really level hips. We don't want to be out here. We want to be level. We're going to draw that belly in. Now we're going to take our right arm forward, thumb up, and lengthen, kind of reach opposite directions. Toes are down and lower. Let's take the other side. Right leg back, toes down, inner thigh seam to the ceiling. Left arm forward, lengthen. And lower. And now let's move one breath per movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And last one, inhale and exhale. Okay, take your knees wide, and we're going to draw our hips down for our first child's pose, feeling that kind of stretch. Walk your hands forward. So even in child's pose, I want us to feel that. Inhale as the pelvic floor moves down, and exhale, feeling that intrinsic contraction and movement upward seal of our pelvic floor. Our Uddiyana Bandha still happens even in this pose. And sometimes you feel it in different ways, which is nice to bring our attention to it again. It's all about awareness. So finding that. And if you like to bend your elbows, get a little stretch in your upper back. Okay, reach your hands forward. Let's all come forward through a kneeling plank and lower down to your belly. Inhale, just a baby cobra. Exhale, bringing our forehead to the mat. Inhale again. This time, reach your feet a little further away. Walk them away. Tops of your feet on the floor, knees off the floor. So activate your quadricep muscles. Knees off. And little baby cobra. So the action is really in the upper back only. And exhale. Take that wide stance with your arms, fingertips make a tent. Feel the stretch in your chest. Keeping the knees off the floor, quadriceps still engaged. Inhale, lift up, wide arm cobra. Exhale, slow it down, lower down, bringing your forehead to the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Stay here for a moment. Let's try turning our right ear to the mat. Keep your elbows up. Feel that stretch. I want us to feel it in different ways. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Now turn your left ear to the mat. Keep your elbows up to the ceiling. Come back to your forehead. Let's bring our hands by our chest. Let's all curl our toes under. Come into our downward facing dog and walk it out. We're going to pedal our feet. Walking our dog. So it's important to really feel your pose and feel what's happening in your body. So exploring that, because a lot of our physical postures are all about just exploration and curiosity. So kind of find that. Just mess around, right? Maybe we walk our dog. Maybe we sway our hips side to side. Kind of play with what feels good to you. Bringing awareness into the posture. And then let's come up very high on our tiptoes. Shift our weight forward to our plank. Stay here just for a moment. Let's lower our knees. Low push-up. Let's inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, come back to that downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Come up high on our tiptoes. Shift your weight forward. Draw that belly in. Draw the upper back up towards the ceiling. Lower down onto our knees. Low push-up. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, high on our toes, shift forward. Let's lower down this time if you're ready for a full low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down. So we're gonna bend our knees a lot, look forward, and walk up to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale again that awareness. Drawing that chest forward, nice flat back. And exhale, soften, fold forward. Press into the floor, drive your feet, all four corners of your feet into the floor. As you inhale, slowly come up. And we're gonna flow. We're gonna start our flow here. So take a big inhale. I'm a little close to the wall. Okay, big inhale, breath. Exhale, bending your knees, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Move through your low push-up. On your knees or not. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale. Bend our knees a lot. Look forward, walk or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full, driving your feet into the floor. Inhale, come all the way up. Maybe we add a little bit of a back bend. It doesn't have to be big. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, right to our low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale. Okay, let's take our right leg high behind us and step forward. This first one, we're going to lower the back knee, come into a low lunge, bring your hand to your knee. Try to drive your hip forward a little bit. Just kind of feel that opening. We're not in a rush. Maybe we want to take the left hand, the kneeling side, the kneeling hand, high, and maybe reach over towards the right. So we stretch that side a little lateral front flexion. And release down, both hands down. Take your left hand to the floor and now open to the right. So we did a little lateral flexion, now twisting a little bit the other way. And exhale. Let's step back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. And maybe walk it out again. Let's take our left leg high. And let's step forward. Lower the right knee. Again, finding that low lunge, both hands on the knee. Driving the hip forward again. Okay, maybe taking this hand now, the right side, the kneeling side hand, and reach over towards the left a little bit. So I'm opening up this whole side of my body. And release both hands down. Plant our right hand to the mat and twist to the left. And untwist. Find your way right back. Inhale to plank. Exhale, low push-up chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale. And maybe you want to walk it out again. Let's bend our knees. Find a little crouching down dog here. So really wiggle your hips up, draw your sits bones back and your thigh bones back. Broaden your thigh bones, so a little space for your low back. You might even take your feet a little wider. Get a little room and a little traction in that low back. Draw your belly in. And let's look forward and walk up to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale. And inhale all the way up to stand. And exhale, find chair. Utkatasana. Light on our toes. All right. So my daughter's doing yoga with me. She's my other student in the room, so it's not like I'm teaching by myself, which I love. So we want to hear her breath too. So sit back a little bit more, draw the belly in. Now let's see if we can get a little movement in our upper back. So I'm going to inhale as my hands come up. I'm going to exhale, send my hips back. Inhale, and notice you're going to get a little wave. You ever practice the wave in a baseball game? Inhale. We want this back. Think of your back as pliable and strong, flexible and stable, all of those things. And let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's bring our toenails together. Sit a little deeper. Sit a little deeper. Maybe you need your hands out front for balance. Hold, one more breath. And fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back to plank. Inhale. And exhale, low push-up. Inhale up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're gonna take our right leg high behind us, and we're gonna bend our knee and open the front hip. So if this doesn't feel good on your hands, right, we can come to our forearms and get the same motion, because I want to stay here for a little bit. So if you can't stay on your hands, come onto your forearms. I'm wanting space in the front edge of this hip. So good. Bella is doing this on her forearms. I will do this on my hands. So I want us to stay here till we start to feel like, hey, I'm getting space and I'm feeling a little movement. Maybe I open a little more. Okay, maybe I can see my foot under my left armpit. Let's straighten the leg. Let's square our hips. And let's all step forward. This time to a high lunge. So on the ball of the back foot, heel is up. Plant your foot. Make sure you have space between your feet. And let's come up to crescent lunge. The back knee maybe straightens down a little bit, our first one, and inhale. Okay, long line from fingertips to our hips and to the back knee. Feel that length. And let's bend our elbows. Okay, actually take your hands and interlace them right behind your neck. So we're gonna have a little back bend between the shoulder blades. Not in the low back, so maybe straighten your knee a little bit, keep that low back straight, lift your chest up, and lift your chest up. So we're kind of walking our eyes back, supporting our neck. When you feel it a lot, stop and come back. Big inhale in our crescent lunge. And exhale, fold, step right back to our low push-up, and inhale, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's take our left leg high, and we're gonna bend the knee on this side, open the hip. So this time I'm gonna look for my foot under my right armpit. Remember, your option is to come to your elbows if this is hard on your hands. Keep holding and stretching and opening till you feel some movement. And let's straighten the leg and square the hips. And let's step forward. So we're on the ball of the back foot, heel is up. And we're gonna make our way to crescent lunge on this side. Okay, nice and tall. So another upper back bend, this time bending the back knee again so we keep the back bend out of the low back. Let's take our hands and interlace our hands behind us. Okay, now lift your chest forward, okay? And again, maybe walk your hands or your eyes backwards slowly towards the ceiling. Really imagining your chest is opening up towards the ceiling, right between your shoulder blades. We want to get movement in that upper back, not in the lower back. And release it. Hands high and exhale. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. You can come into your low push-up or come straight to down dog, listening to your body. Let's bend our knees. Find that crouching down dog space in the low back and the pelvic floor and the hip bones back. Bend your knees, look forward, and walk or float. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, let's find chair. Okay, this chair, let's take our feet literally wider than hips, bones width apart, okay? We're gonna interlace our fingers forward, lower. I want your knees back behind or at your ankles, above your ankles, not in front of. Reach your hips back, your fingers forward, trying to get your upper back kind of like one long line, a coffee table. Hold, hold. Really reach, kind of a little bit of a cow movement in the upper back. And fold. Okay, we can come into garland pose. Okay, some of us have injuries in our hips and garland's not available. If it is available to you, go ahead and come into garland. A nice low squat. I like to bring my elbows underneath my knees and offer a stretch so I don't have as deep of a flexion in my hip joint, safer for my hip. And after you find whatever pose suits you, we're going to come back into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Pause here, just so we don't get a head rush, and come on up to stand. Okay, switching gears a little bit. We're going to come into horse or goddess pose. So take a wide stance, feet 45 degrees out. And open your knees, squat down. What we don't want to do for you people at home is bend your knees forward. We want to come back, so it's a squat, okay? So I'm gonna come kind of at an angle here. All right, let's open our knees a little bit and maybe push your knees open, kind of play with that. Okay, let's kind of get our torso a little taller. Let's stay here, bring our hands to heart center. And let's breathe for 3 breaths. Last one. And bring your hands back to your knees. And we're going to find a little cat-cow. Inhale. Give that little back bend we've been working on. And exhale. Intrinsic contraction. Pelvic floor lifts up. Uddiyana Bandha up and in. Inhale. Cow. Exhale. Once more. Inhale, cow. Feel that length. Exhale, cat. Feel that intrinsic contraction, Uddiyana Bandha, and lift of our pelvic floor. And come back to start. Let's come up slowly to stand. Come to the top of our mat, wherever that is. And let's take a big inhale. And let's exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale in plank. And exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing. Let's take our right leg high, bend the knee and open the hip, straighten the leg, square the hip and step forward. So we've done a little crescent lunge already. I'm going to add a little more front thigh strengthening. Take your hands back, palms down, lift your belly off your thigh, hold and hover. Hold and hover. And breathe. Must breathe. On the next inhale, come up into crescent lunge. Take a breath here, big, tall, get taller. And exhale, bring our hands through heart center and let's twist to the right. Left elbow on the right knee, on Jolly Mudra. Twist into your crescent lunge. If this isn't available for you, take your hand to the floor or a block and open up to a twist this way. Lengthen the crown of your head so your back is getting longer. One more big breath. Inhale. Exhale. Untwist. Okay. We're going to lower the back heel and we're going to circle all the way around to Warrior Two. Find a little stillness here, a little strength in your warrior pose. Let's all bring our right elbow to our right knee, our left arm high. Okay, if you want to play with something, I like to straighten my forearm, opening my right knee. I press my right knee back and open. And lengthen, so I'm getting this stretch across my belly, working all these little fascial connections, which kind of changes our nervous system. It's kind of wonderful. So listen up. We're going to slowly lower our right hand to the mat. Our left arm swings around to follow. Pivot up to your back heel. Walk your right foot to the right and your right foot about 45 degrees out. And you can stay here for lizard lunge. Come to your elbows or lower your knee. Maybe come to a block. Make the floor closer for you. The foot is going to be, let's see if I can do this way, in front of my knee and out slightly to the right, little 45-degree angle. So I have room in my hips, okay? Room in my hips. So then I can play with maybe rocking side to side, coming in on the knife edge of my foot. Flexing your foot to protect your ankle, Isabella. Good. Okay, from here, I don't have a lot of space for this camera to see. Okay, we're gonna plant our left hand to the floor, and we're gonna play with maybe deepening this. So I'm a little tight right now. I don't know how much. So even just bending the back knee, I already feel a deep stretch in my quad. If I want to reach back and twist to the right, I can play with that too. How deep you take it is up to you. Maybe you just want to come into another little twist. And we'll untwist. And go ahead and take this foot back and come into child's pose. Take a break. And now we'll do this on the other side. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Let's take our left leg high behind us. Bend the knee and open the hip. Straighten the leg and square the hip and step forward. So a little more crescent lunge. So come kind of off your belly a little bit. So we're not leaning on our thigh. And hover. Palms reach back, fingertips reach back. Hover and breathe. On the next inhale, come up to crescent lunge. Okay, lengthen here. I want your torso nice and long, right? Lengthen as you inhale and exhale. Bring your hands through heart center, Anjali Mudra, and twist to the left. Straight back, long spine. Remember that option, taking your hand to the floor or the block and twisting to the right. We'll hold here for 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Untwist. Drop your back heel. A circle sweep around. Warrior 2. Let's all take our left elbow to our left thigh. Open up. I remember straightening out that forearm, opening up the left thigh now, pushing it back. Big stretch across all your muscles in your belly. Breathe here. Slowly lower your left hand. Right hand follows. Walk your left foot to the left a little bit of an angle out. For lizard lunge, we can stay here, come to the forearms, or lower the knee. If you feel a lot already, if one side's tighter than the other, depending on what you've been doing with all our isolation, like yard work or projects, maybe take it easy. Our bodies are doing a lot of different things than we're used to. That foot needs to be in front of your knee to protect your knee and your hip. Maybe you like the rocking. I like to do. Rocking's just kind of a natural thing. Let's plant our right hand. We're going to bend the back knee. Remember, we can twist to the left. This way would be a modification. We can grab hold of the foot. We're turning our shoulders so they stack, and we twist. Lengthening the crown of our head. And untwist. Go ahead and bring this left leg around and come into child's pose. Let's all come forward to all fours. And just to neutralize the spine and the hips and the low back and the sacrum, I encourage you just to move freely, get a little hip rotation. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do. It's not something we get to do unless we're dancers. But we can dance on our mat. Kind of organic, just natural, whatever way your body wants you to go. And then let's come forward and lower to our belly. So we're going to come into a back bend. I think we'll just do locust today. So taking our palms down, our forehead to the mat, bringing your feet so they're parallel. We don't want our pinky toes to the ceiling, right? Parallel. You can widen your feet a little bit so you have space for your low back and you don't squeeze the glutes. Try not to squeeze the glutes. Draw your tailbone down. And then let's lift our legs first, and then our back and neck. And breathe. And breathe. Lift a little higher. And breathe. And a little higher still. And release. Turn your favorite ear to the mat. Heavy sigh. If it feels good to pick up your knees and rock your hips side to side. Again, awareness of this grounding, right? Our whole body is being grounded to the floor. And let's prepare to come up again. Take your tailbone down a little bit, protecting that low back. Feet a little wider. Let's lift our feet first, then our chest and hands and head. And breathe. And lift. And breathe. And lengthen your feet back and breathe one more time. And turn your other favorite ear to the mat. Feeling your heartbeat into the floor is also really grounding and really brings awareness to life. I think I kind of love that. And you also feel in real time the recovery. Your heartbeat starts to slow. Let's bring our hands by our chest. We're going to push up through all fours. Come into cat-cow one time. And then find your way onto your seat. Okay, we're going to finish on our backs. And what I'm going to have us do is a little dolphin's tail. So crossing both feet high up for a double pigeon. Or I like to call it dolphin's tail. I heard that in one class and it just makes me happy. So take your right leg over the left. Grab hold of both shin bones by the ankle if you can. Draw your feet towards your hips. Sink. Let gravity help here. We should be feeling this more on the side that's over. Feel that deep, deep piriformis, that whole deep six muscle in our hip and glute, the rotators. And notice your body recovering. And unwind your legs. Bring both feet to the mat. We're going to cross the left over the right. Grab hold of both ankles again. Draw them toward your hips. And relax your jaw and your neck. Maybe turn your head side to side. So there's always a stira sukham, a hard, soft, a work and ease portion of every pose. We want our face soft. If you smile, lots of things happen that are positive for your body and healthy for your body. If our face is grimaced, our body senses that and feels that. And let's unwind our legs. So I'm going to take us into Shavasana. And if your low back or sacrum is kind of bothering you or feels tight ever, bending your knees and letting your knees fall together opens that up so there's no tension in the sacroiliac joints. So if you have sacroiliac pain, this is a great way to come into our Shavasana. If not, and maybe you just have low back pain, you can bring your hips to a block and just let your hips, this is a very restorative inversion. Just really chill, palms open. That's another way if you have low back pain. So let's just find gravity, feel gravity on our body. Maybe a big inhale breath. Settle into the mat. If you're feeling tension in your neck, maybe turn your head side to side. Just enjoy this quiet, this peacefulness in your body. You ever notice your body seems noisy? Enjoy the calm and the quiet and your interior, what's happening inside. It's different now, it's relaxed, not as much noise. Feel your body cooling, restoring, recovering. Feel your breath calm. Your heartbeat is calm. Let's begin to wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes. Deepen our breath. If you like to roll over to one side, feel free to roll over to one side. Make our way up to seated. We'll finish just like we started. Let's take a big inhale breath. And let's bring our hands to heart center. And I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you guys. I hope to see you. I'm going to be teaching again on Friday at 4:30. So have a wonderful evening and enjoy.